So today we're going to talk about the story of Jacob de Geer. He's the founder of iZETTLE, a company that sold for, get this, over $2 billion. But this isn't just a story about a massive payday. Nope, it's really about how de Geer's whole philosophy, his willingness to fail and fail a lot, was actually the secret to his success. Let's dive in.
It's a great question, right? Because just a decade or so ago, they were in completely different universes. I mean, think about it. The local baker, the artist selling their work at a market, the person with a little food stall, they were all kind of locked out of a financial system that was really only built for the big guys. But the answer to this question, well, that's the key to a multi-billion-dollar idea.
Okay, so picture this. It's the early 2010s. Jacob de Geer has this vision that honestly felt like a total long shot at the time. He wanted to, and this is the key word, democratize payments. The whole goal was to give every single small business owner the exact same tools and power as the giant retail chains. A pretty bold idea.
And this slide, this really nails the revolution iZETTLE kicked off. On one side, you've got the old way of doing things, these big, clunky, super expensive card terminals that were completely out of reach for any small business. And on the other side, the iZETTLE vision, a simple little card reader that just plugs into your phone. It seems so obvious now, doesn't it? But back then, it was a massive, massive gamble, technically, legally, and financially.
But here's the thing. Having a brilliant idea is one thing. Actually making it happen, that's a whole different story. The path for iZETTLE was anything but a straight, clean line to success. It was a classic road of trials, a journey that was really defined more by its mistakes and stumbles than by any kind of perfection.
And this gives you a real sense of the crazy uphill battle they were fighting. I mean, they were going up against huge, powerful banks, a total mess of financial rules, and tech that was, let's be honest, still pretty new and shaky. De Geer has been so open about how many times the company was on the brink of collapse and how they had to constantly change their plans just to survive. It's the side of the startup story you almost never get to hear.
And here it is. This is the core belief, the philosophy that powered them through all that chaos. This wasn't just some nice quote they stuck on a poster. It literally became the cultural DNA of iZETTLE. They built a company that wasn't afraid to be wrong, as long as it learned from its mistakes super fast and had the guts to change direction. You can basically boil down his entire approach to these 4 simple steps. He saw the whole thing as just a series of experiments. You try something, it probably won't work, but inside that failure, there's a lesson. And you take that lesson and you try again. It was the learning, not the winning, that was the most valuable part.
So after years and years of this cycle of trying things, failing, learning, and trying again, the journey hit this incredible, dramatic turning point. All that hard work, all that resilience, all those corrected mistakes, they were about to pay off in a way that I don't think anyone could have truly imagined.
In 2018, PayPal bought iZETTLE for $2.2 billion. Let's just let that sink in for a second. $2.2 billion. From a simple little idea to that. Wow.
And you've got to understand, this wasn't just a big number. It was a huge moment. It was one of the largest tech deals in Swedish history. It proved that this idea, an idea built on being tough and having the courage to admit when you're wrong, could completely change a global industry. It was the ultimate proof that their crazy method actually worked.
Now, after the sale, Jacob de Geer didn't just buy an island and disappear. No, instead, he took on a totally new role. He decided to use his experience to help the next generation of entrepreneurs, most famously as an investor, or a dragon, on Sweden's version of Dragon's Den.
And this is the wisdom he passes on now. And notice how it all goes right back to his own story. He tells founders, be open about your problems, be your own toughest critic, and never, ever be ashamed when you fail. He says he focuses on the person, on their resilience, not just on whether they have a perfect business plan.
So, when you take this whole amazing entrepreneurial journey and boil it all down, what's the single most important lesson we can walk away with? It's really all about changing how we think about what success even looks like.
We all kind of imagine success as this perfect, straight arrow moving from point A to point B, right? But this story just shows us the reality is, well, it's way more human than that. It's messy, it's windy, it's full of wrong turns. But that messy, squiggly line, that's where all the real learning and the real growth actually happens.
And that brings us to the final and maybe most important takeaway. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody. The real test, the thing that separates the successes from the failures, is what you do next. Do you run from the mistake, or do you face it, learn from it, and move forward even stronger than before? So that leaves us with one final thought for you to chew on. We've just seen how incredibly powerful it can be to embrace failure. So the question to ask yourself is, when you look back on your own journey, whether it's in work or just in life, what's the one mistake that has taught you the most valuable lesson?